this is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. During Friday's AIFF press conference, the President Candid Football raised the topic of Indian strikers. Somewhat of a justification is that the system has not been producing strikers or has been giving opportunities to Indian strikers. The reality is the facts are very, very simple. Where are those strikers? How could they make a difference? Simple questions. And if we look back over the last 25 years, we've had Amvijan, we've had Baichung Bhutia, we've had Sunil Chhetri. The top three, one could name a few more, up and coming Vimal Pariyar, Lalam Puya, who didn't make it, JJ Lalpeglua, Robin Singh, those who made it. But in today's Indian football, it has become even more difficult for a striker to really make it in the ISL. And I don't know what the idea behind it was, that Kalyan Chaub was talking about it, to do a few sessions with the under 23 India strikers and 2-3 sessions and things will be sorted. Did I miss something? Did I not understand something? That the problem is much more complicated and complex? The AIFF themselves can do a few things, yes, to try and give opportunities to young strikers in their national team system, but they have to work together with the clubs, as with everything else in regard to player development, player exposure. It will have to happen at the clubs. And enforcing certain rules, I've heard people commenting in my live shows saying, "Hey, sir, why don't you have the rule of starting an Indian striker?" That doesn't work that way. Forcing it to some extent can help, but forcing a striker to play, I don't know what system then the coaches will pick. Will you then start to play with false number 9s to avoid forcing teams to play with an Indian striker? And it's also on the strikers. If you look at Sunil Chhetri's career, it wasn't a straight path that Sunil broke through and the rest is history. Sunil Chhetri in his initial years had to struggle a lot. He had to fight a lot to get to where he is today. Sunil was not the ready-made striker when he joined Mohun Bagan. He was down the pecking order. He even left Mohun Bagan. Became what he is today due to a very, very good season in the I-League at JCT. And then failed in Kansas, failed at Sporting Lisbon. But he kept on working on himself. He learned a lot of things. And I think that when we want to create and develop new strikers, yes, certain things I rather should say, can be done by the system. But the emphasis is also on the individual players. As I say, Sunil Chhetri wasn't a ready-made product. So therefore, that is the biggest learning point for young Indian strikers. Even if you're 23, 24, 25, work hard and try to make it as a top-tier striker. If you're good, if you are capable, coaches will give you a chance. And that is what these players need to work towards. That is where I sometimes feel there's a lack. We need to discuss the topic of strikers. We need to work very, very hard to develop the next generation of Indian strikers. Yes, we should be making efforts to produce better strikers than a Baichung Bhutia, a Sunil Chhetri or an Amvijan. But I always also say, let strikers get to that level first, because they are not able to get to that level of the three mentioned strikers. A lot of work remains, and there is no simple solution to that within the Indian football system. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Got other viewpoints to add? Write those down in the comments below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. So now, signing off. Bye for now.